What's up, YouTube? It is Sunday, October 7th, 2018. Creeping into the fall, creeping out of summer. Depending on where you are in the country, some people are seeing snow, some people are getting freezing temperatures. If you're south of the Mason-Dixon line, it's still 90 degrees outside. What do you do? I don't know. But it is Sunday. It is the live show, and I am happy to be here. Gentlemen, you know what time it is? It's roll call. Hop on over here and see what's going on in the chat. I know I was getting down with Eric earlier today. There's going to be a SpaceX launch tonight. For those of you that don't know, I am a big fan of SpaceX, so I'm excited to see that. I will definitely be tuning into that a little later after this gets all kinds of wrapped up. So, Eric, what's up, man? AV guy. AV stands for audio video. I know because he taught me. Audio video guy in the Rob Hawkins, what's going on, my friend? How are you, good sir? Telly Coleman back in Tennessee. Man, I bet you were super relieved to be home, one form or fashion. Definitely not from having to take a break from your vacation. I know that was a really good time. So, hey, welcome home. Sid Barrett, what is going on, man? Sid Barrett, weren't you in Pink Floyd? Am I crossing my I's and dotting my T's there, or were you in Pink Floyd? I don't know. Lambert, how are you doing? Michael, how are you? Real Low Dad. Hashtag Real Low Dad. Getting real freaking naughty up on his YouTube channel, I saw. Corn, my man Mark. Over in the Savannah, GA. Little baby Kenny, what's going on? Never seen your name before. Welcome aboard the Soul Train. Wayne Esser, how are you, good sir? CD Andrews, my man, how are you, good sir? Kyle, Ben, y'all. Ben, y'all. What's up, dude? Found you on the snap tube there. I'm trying to figure out how to get all that done. Chris, what? That's French for hi-ya, if you didn't know. James Hill, what's going on? Ray Ito. Turning in from the Hawaii. Phil Cagle, what's going on, man? I feel you, brother. I feel you. You got to do what you got to do to get the babies to go night-night. You know what I'm saying? Shane, how are you, good sir? Been a hot second since I've seen you. I reckon you've been out there plugging holes all over the slapping place over there in the Nebraska. Ryan Quick, how are you, good sir? Ryan, am I going to be seeing you at the GIE? I know that's kind of a yearly tradition we have. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? Matt Kaczynski, what's up, man? It's a lot of syllables in your name, but I'm going to find them, and I'm going to count every one of them. Mean Green, what's up, dude? What is up? Jay Wyrick, what is going on? Slick Jay, getting slick over there in this corner of the chat. I know what he's doing. Casey Turner waiting on a phone call. Yes, you are. That is my bad, man. I meant to call you back. I completely forgot. A little bit of a excuse built into that, but I'll tell it to you on the phone. I'll call you on my way into the office tomorrow, Casey. GG Turf. That's some good turf going over there. How are you, good sir? Glenn Stevens up in the New York. What's happening? John T. Konnichiwa. Daiju desu. Billy G. What's up, man? How are you, good sir? Look at all these tropical storms, hurricanes. I saw that, man. Doesn't look like it's going to be too powerful. But let's pray that everybody stays safe out there. You know what I'm saying? We need lots of safety. John Kane, not one, not two. Grace. John Kane the third. What's going on, my friend? How are you? John Pinkerton up there in Cedar Rapids doing the cupcake thing, that one cupcake place, hashtag www.thatonecupcakeplace.com, laying it down. Greg Ferguson, what's up from Middle Tennessee? Hey, glad you enjoyed Dickens. I love those guys. Great, great people. Just comfortably numb after my lawn care. I hear you, man. Macchione, what's up, dude? What's going on? Macchione. Jason Ewing, Jake Dub, what's up, dude? Yeah, man, get all that seed down so you can come see me. Terry Martin, what's going on from Blackshear, Georgia? Terry Martin, back again, I reckon. I don't know. Have you tuned in before? Trinity, Alabama, look at that. My wife coming in with the jokes. Matt Johnson, how are you, sir? Marco Guerrero, not for president. That is way too much going on there. We got Rick with Soil Samurai Gardens. I'm going to go check out your YouTube channel when this ends right here, Rick, from Kansas City. Ton of rain out lately. Man, we need some more rain. How about that? Gravy Lookout up there in the Dakotas. Up there in the Dakotas. I didn't even know that was a real place till recently, but I'm glad I learned. You taught me a little bit about geography, Gravy Lookout, and I'm happy for it. You got to watch out for us rednecks, man. We forget about things that exist in the world like North Dakota, and that people actually live there. Who knew? Here we go, CD Andrews. This is what I'm talking about right here. Have what appears to be some dollar spot. Mycelium trying to hit my new seedlings. Course of action, PPZ and or Strobe. Worried I'll damage the new grass. Okay, that's a tough one, CD Andrews. Can you send me a picture of this? Yeah, that's first and foremost. Glenn is right. Strobe will not touch dollar spot. In fact, in some instances, there's some research that shows it can actually increase instances of dollar spot if you apply it to active disease. So we'll X the Strobe right now. So that's going to leave you in the PPZ realm there. Now, that being said, if you're seeing mycelium, CD Andrews, send me a picture of that because it could be dollar spot. It could be something different. I've been getting a lot of information, a lot of data collection is going on right now with true organic fertilizers and mycelium forming. So I'm curious what exactly it looks like. If it looks like a fusarium patch or a snow mold type mycelium that's growing, I'm curious if you've put down an organic fertilizer. So send me a picture of that and we'll jump into it. If they are nude seedlings, I would try and see if you can get away with PPZ at a low rate. If I'm just throwing a random rate out here, we'll go like half rate, like 1 ounce per 1,000, and then do sequential applications of it. That would be my best guess. It's fescue, so you're not going to hurt things by throwing, a little bit of potassium to it too. If you're rocking with some Kentucky bluegrass right now, I'd say probably back off the potassium, but it's fescue. You can get a little hot saucy on it. Lambert, which next products to apply in fall on warm season? People seem to be all over the place on application timing for these products. That's right, Lambert. That's a lot of what I see, and there's not really just a firm way to go about it, but this is how I want you to think about it. So you have to understand the mode of action of each of the next products. So, for instance, if we're talking about driving root depth, we're talking about RGS because of the hormonal properties of kelp, right? So when do you want to focus on root depth? You're going to focus on root depth in periods of pre-stress. So that's before it gets into the stressful time of the year. And then you also want to do it in stress recovery. So that's after the most intense part of the year. So typically that's going to be your RGS impact there. Something like Air 8, you can pretty much throw that down whenever is necessary. If you're going through an extended period of drought or dry weather, I would stay away from Air 8 just due to the salty-ish nature of the KOH. Can have a little bit of a dehydrating effect. And something like Humic 12, you can kind of get down and get nasty with it whenever you please. You're not going to hurt anything doing that. And the microgreen, you typically want to do in those periods of stress. So I hope that's kind of the rundown. And then, you just apply that as pertains to where you are and what your turf type is that you're actually growing. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Matt from down the Greene County Products? Putting them down. Get them down, Tom Reed. Get them down. What's up from Ohio? Woo! LZ USA. How are you, good sir? You and my buddy, the turf nerd, David. Watkins up there in Ohio. I bet it has been hot, man. I'm talking to him. He said it was a little bit steamy and too much rain. That always makes things tough, too. Connor Ward in the shows. Man, you're recovering from your trip down in Florida. Looks like you had a good time, sir. I'm just saying. When you're ready, come see me, Connor. Come on up. Troy Wertner, how are you, good sir? That's Ray chiming in that mycelium can also be from Rhizoctonia and Pythium. That's right. I don't, at least where I'm at, I haven't seen a whole lot of mycelium from Rhizoctonia. I have seen it for Pythium. I have not seen it for Dollar Spot, but I have noticed this mycelium thing with the organic fertilizers. That's why I'm curious what that looks like. Ray, I'll have to send you some pictures of this. I think you would be super interested in it. Oh, we did. We were talking about it on the Discord. Any luck with Sweeney's mole and gopher repellent granules? I have a mole or vole problem. Mean Green, I've never used it. Typically, when you're dealing with moles or gophers or voles or anything of that sort, you can try the repellents. You can try like Talprid. What is going to be the efficacy of it? Who knows? It's very hit and miss. It all comes down to the precision of the application. Can the animals smell it on you? You know, did you accidentally touch it? There's a lot of variables that go into it. Have I ever seen them work? Not actually a repellent. No, I've never seen a repellent work. I have seen a poisoned bait work, but it's very infrequent that it does end up working. So typically what I recommend is trying to trap them. Brian applied his first lateral spreading fescue on top of my client's lawn today. I've been scared to give it a try, but why not? Did you use any more this year yourself? Yes, Brian. We went out with all of it this year. All of it is lateral spreading again, and that is because it did such a great job. So we'll continue to use that from this point forward. Kevin LCN says, will using Milo on the yard hurt my dogwood tree? No, sir, Kevin. Your dogwood tree will love it. Matt, will insecticides hurt microbes in the soil? No, they will not. Insecticides do not have an effect on microbes. There's Ray. Ray's going to get you for that one. Glenn, we are not in Pythium weather. I mean, we've had some days of it, you know, where it's in the 90s, but nighttime temperatures are pretty cool now. So we are pretty much out of the clear for Pythium there. Look at that. Super humid, but not Pythium for sure. No slimy feel. Interesting. Speak on the use of silicates in turf management. I'd like to hear your opinion on their uses. Silicates. Okay, Juji Turf. I don't know just a ton about it. I understand a little bit how it works. So if you think about something, let's see. It's supposed to be another pre-stress conditioning type product. Silicas are going to help something in the plant. I can't remember. I just read a study about this, I don't know, a couple months ago. And it showed a minor positive impact. However, there was another study that followed that up that did not mimic the results of the first study. And I cannot remember, man. I cannot remember. I think there is something to it, but I think the rates involved with it are a little bit unknown right now. You're definitely not going to hurt anything by using it. Now, there is a lot of data showing salicylic acid, which is not exactly a silicate, but salicylic acid, also known as aspirin, actually has a really positive influence on turf. So it may be something that you want to try in combination. There is a product called Kendall, Kendel, Kendal, I think it's DEL, that is by DowAgro. Helena distributes it, And I believe it comes out of Italy, and it contains, I think, both silicates and salicylic acid, and it is to ward off stress. It's mainly used in the golf world, but it's a very good product. So GG Turf, is it going to be the end-all be-all? No, but silicates can definitely have a positive role in turf management. It is one of those things, it's another tool, and when using it to ward off damages that come from stress, and I think like localized dry spot and stuff, you know, if it fits your budget and it fits your program, you know, you're not going to hurt anything by doing it. So there you go. We've had a few frosts and even 2 inches of snow last week that melted my lawn and slowed down a little bit, but it's still super green and grown. When can I put my mower down for the season? Gravy, look out, put it down. Never! Keep mowing even when it stops growing. Just roll with it. Well, as long as it's not frozen. Don't mow frozen grass. We had an armyworm breakout. What's going on, Lawn Guardian? Cat Bird Feeder. How are all y'all, Lawn Guardian? Check it out, man. We're rocking it. We are rocking it. Those will make grass harder, as in harder to mow. Golf guys use it to make greens harder and faster, but I would not do it on landscape turf. Interesting. Very interesting. Firming it up. Look who stopped in. It's old Alan Hain just creeping in the chat right there. What's going on, Big Al? How are you, good sir? Leaves, what's going on? Number 34, when is it too late to put down turf type tall fescue seed? I live in Connecticut. Now too late. Best wait until the spring. Thanks. Leaves, I don't know what your soil temperatures are, but if you're underneath 55 on a 5-day average, I'd say you're probably too late. But as long as you're above 55 on your 5-day average, get that baby down. Get it up, sir. It's Alan Hain. Just finished watching your video. Yeah, that's right. Alan's got a good one coming out with a little 1801 green punch and some Milo going down. Did you have a preferred brand of snow blower? Anything that has Toro written on it, I'm probably going to be a bigger fan of. Gravy, look out. I'm going to be real honest with you right now. I have no idea what a snowblower even looks like. In fact, I'm probably going to pull up a video after we get off here to check out what exactly a snowblower is. Good stuff there. I'm in Iowa. Is air 8 going to help in the fall with leaves if I'm mulch mowing? Troy, probably not. No, sir. I do not see how it would have any impact on that. Yeah, I don't know. Do not know. RBM Jackson, part of a mentor program over on the Space Butt. How are you, good sir? Welcome in. Which Greene County fertilizer products would you recommend at a renovation this month? Turf type, tall fescue, lime, urea, fertilizer, nuked out lawns, aerated. I would probably go with something like an RGS. So speed up that rooting, get it as rooted as possible leading into the cold weather. So 2 things I would focus on in the fall, especially with tall fescue, is nitrogen. Get your nitrogen down, get it ready, get it in the soil, get it going. And you know, something like RGS. So previous in the past, you know, last 2 years, I've put down RGS with tall fescue seed to great results. So that is where I would steer you all towards. Tom Reed, will next products get damaged, freezes, may end up with some leftover product. Tom, it's not exactly going to be damaged, but it may come out of suspension. So shake it up real good if it, in the event it does freeze. What's recommended concentration of marking dot used in order to dominate my neighbors with my stripes? There is, I believe, if you're trying to give it that hue, Colonel Corn, there is a video put out by How To with Doc. He's got his little super juice going over there, painting the yard up nice and pretty green. I don't know the rate on that, but I believe he lists it on his website, and he's got it probably in that video too. And seemed to do a pretty good job on that front. All right, let's go on. Duty Beverage, I see you at the GIA. How are you, ma'am? Let's see. What brand of winterizer fertilizer do you recommend for Ohio? LZ USA. I'll tell you right now exactly what brand I recommend. I recommend you go get a bag of 2100 and your nitrogen source be ammonium sulfate. Throw it down between a ½ pound of nitrogen and a full pound of nitrogen, and you should be good to go. Stay away from anything that is branded winterizer. If it is branded winterizer, you're paying for a bunch of nothing that you need in that bag. It is purely a marketing ploy. So stay away from anything branded winterizer fertilizer. Go to a co-op or something, get you a bag of ammonium sulfate, throw that bad boy down. Chris Windorf, do you have any experience with Texas bluegrass? No, sir, I do not. This is another study I read probably about 2 months ago. And I didn't really learn a whole lot about it other than it performed a lot like other hybrid bluegrasses. So it's going to be about my best bet. You know, it's probably going to be like we see with the HGT bluegrass around here in Tennessee, where, you know, it's a little bit more heat tolerant. It's a little bit more drought tolerant, and it doesn't require exactly as much rain to get it going again. Just a little bit of a dip in temperature and it's good rain, and typically it's coming back. Gene DeClo, how are you, good sir? How's the parking area coming along, Connor? Connor's working his tail off. Matt, what's your personal opinion on using glyphosate? I have no issues using glyphosate. There is enough data out there, and it's been used over so many decades now at many various rates over many various crops, and there is not a direct correlation between the instances of increases in cancer rates and glyphosate usage. Where you would expect it to show up, it's not showing up. So that's my personal opinion on that. And I did a long video about it too. So if you care to learn more, check it out there. Frank White, what's up? Ronald Paris, how are you? North Carolina DOT used silicate byproduct for highway fert years ago. Byproduct they got from Tylenol plant. Interesting. So high pH here in West Texas. I watched your video on ammonium sulfate fert. I applied sulfur to start the process lower in pH. Sounds like running that fert next year will help, correct? Yes, sir, RBL. It's all part of a program. So you can't just make the transition to ammonium sulfate because, again, when you're dealing with high pH like that, typically it exists in your soil structure and your subsurface. So, you know, if you're basically on limestone, then you're never really going to get it below a 7-8. So, you know, you always constantly have to stay on top of it. Then a full renovation. Armyworms ate a lot of it before I caught it. Sprayed by bifenthrin, reseeding, fertilizer tomorrow. Any other advice? No, sir, RVA. No, sir. That is exactly what you need to get done. Just want to report back from previous post where I asked about a chronic rain spot, adding sulfur amendments using Clears 33, 36 did wonders. That's excellent. Awesome, AAA. That is awesome. Airing the snowblowers are best. How about them apples? Who knew? Never heard of it. Silica increases turgidity in the plant. There you go. You have a ballpark price for CarbonX. Dustin Spiegel, are you a homeowner or you're a pro? I don't know. I would contact Greene County Fertilizer, greencountyfert.com, and contact them for pricing on CarbonX. You're able to probably know that I called you about irrigation time on new seed. What's your suggestions and when do you cut back? I cut back typically when it gets to about that 1, maybe 2 inches. Irrigation timing on new seed. Typically, this is what I do. I do it 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Depending on the output, somewhere between 3 and 6 minutes a zone. If you're dealing with like 1.5 inch plus pipe size, then, and you know, I would say more like a commercial system that's really dumping out the gallonage, you know, you could probably get away with that 3 to 4 minute time frame per zone. If you're on a homeowner line at 1/2 inch with NPR heads, you know, you may be at NPR heads from 5 to 7 minutes a zone, something like that. So somewhere in that time frame. And then when it gets to be coming in pretty nice and decent looking, you can look out and you see it across the horizon there, lots of baby grass. Shock the fire out of it. Now, this is a hard thing to do, Casey, because you know you're a pro. You can't be on it every day, but this is where you have to educate that customer. When they come home and it begins to turn a little bit blue, that's when they need to fire it on. So they may only be watering like twice a week, 3 times a week after that, but shock it. Let it stress a little bit. That stress response is going to help that rooting process, and helping that early on is going to pay dividends later on. Planted grass 3 weekends ago, put down 2 pounds of 10 per thousand. Should I put another 2 pounds down, or is it too soon? What are you talking about, Gene? What did you put down? 2 pounds of. I'm a little confused. It touches the snow blower on the beach. Got some Ray. Hey, there you go. There you go. Ray to Mark and Blues discussing my latest video. That's right. Real low dad gets all in on that Mark and Blue. Does potassium help with the roots? Julio Diaz. No, sir. It has to do with water and nutrient transport within the plant. It has nothing to do with roots. Let's see. Let me get on down here. Oh, Paul's Prime cuts me some silica right now. Somebody get him some silica. He's lacking some turgidity. I just wanted to say that. If it rains for 5 days, is that less than the end in the ground for winter storage? Potentially, Ronald Parrish, because what can happen there is that it can move. It can move. So nitrogen is very mobile. It's very soluble, right? So if you're getting lots of rain, what can happen is that it can go into solution in the rainwater and run off. The other thing it can do is you could push deeper than intended for it to go. It could push deeper than the root zone. And they call that leaching. So yeah, there is potential for it, but I mean, as a general rule of thumb, if you're using urea, you're going to lose at least half to the environment, whether that's through evaporation, through leaching, or through runoff. If you're using ammonium sulfate, I would say something like 30% you're going to lose. Just keep all that in mind. My neighbor just threw down some winterizer from Menards. I had to make sure my face didn't make a expression when he told me. That's right. Get him, Mean Green. Tell him how to do it. What's the update on CarbonX? All right, I will do that since we are at the 9:27 mark. Let me tell you a little bit about where we are with CarbonX. Okay, so right now, GIE is coming up. I got a string of videos that are going to be coming out on the Grass Factor for the GIE. I'm actually doing a video right now as we speak. I'm editing it in another video that is done with the folks from Permagreen. As you guys know, really, I absolutely love the people over at Permagreen. They've always had a special place in my heart because I never could have done what I've done without my Permagreen. I owe a big chunk of my career to my Permagreen. I owe a big chunk of my career to Ray in the chat. And, so GIE is always kind of a time for me to get in on that. And so anyway, got that video coming out with them. Next is CarbonX. So CarbonX, we will be at the same booth with Greene County Fertilizer. There will be a distributor. We'll be there. We'll be hanging out with those guys. So I will be there for the entirety of the GIE. Now, coming up over the next week, late next week to maybe next Monday, we will begin launching the pre-orders. Pre-orders are going to be coming from a couple of different places. We'll keep it all condensed and point you where you need to go on potentially pre-ordering. We're not asking to take any money up front. What we're trying to gauge is how much production we need, how quickly we need to ramp up production. So, do we need to be running 24/7 out of the get-go? Do we need to only be running 8 hours a day? It's just going to help us gauge where we need to go. As far as what's actually taking place in the construction process, we've got footers poured, pad is being poured. We've got building that will start to be erected on, materials are being delivered on Thursday, and I believe it is due to be finished constructed on the 22nd. Our building will be done. And in that time frame, they're also running like 3-phase power and all that fun stuff. So it's absolute chaos right now. If you're interested right now in CarbonX, feel free to reach out to Greene County Fertilizer, greencountyfert.com, and they'd be more than willing to talk to you a little bit about offering CarbonX as a product. John has been a pivotal help in all this right now, and big thanks to especially to all my business partners in this. John Borden has been just the absolute stud in this. He's the one who actually made this become a reality. So lots of stuff going on the CarbonX front. Stay up to date with it. Check out carbonearth.co. fill out the contact form. That goes straight to me. I will put you on the mailing list and send you periodic updates via a newsletter. And then also, as we get closer to time, official launch as far as like manufacturing material will be December 1st. We will probably start shipping material somewhere around the end of December. And that depends on who needs it, or if they don't need it, then we don't necessarily have to ship them. But we will be getting material in people's hands by the end of 2018 for sure. There's the update on CarbonX. Check it out, carbonearth.co, and also hop over to the Carbon Earth. If you check down in the description, you will see the Carbon Earth YouTube channel. Check that out. Hit the subscribe button, because we got a lot of interesting things that are going to be coming out there too. American Troy getting pretty good germination on Seed Superstore Turf Type Tall Fescue with no mechanical aeration. Seed to soil contact is really all it takes. Once you get it, you get it. That's all you need. Mom, what is going on? Thanks for tuning in, Mom. Thank you, Josh Carlson. I really appreciate that, man. I really, really do. Much of Travels, King of Hearts. When you get a chance, can you please post complete application counter for whole year, including which herbicide to apply when? Much of Travels, man, that's a lot of data. I probably can't do that. I would like to, but I can't. So what I would recommend is there are people out there currently that have programs. Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut, has a great ebook. I was actually a technical editor on parts of his ebook series. So feel free to check that out. He's got a lot of great information on it. Pete with GCI Turf has the GCI Turf Academy. You can check that out, and that's got calendars. You could check out Grass Daddy's website. He is putting together some algorithmic program to tell you kind of what to do when. That's pretty sweet. But I could tell you how to do it, but that's not really my forte. I want to tell you why you do it at certain times. I try and keep that brain stimulated. You know what I'm saying? It'd be too easy for me to just tell you how to do it. I want you to understand why it's being done. Sounds like I need to go cut off one of the start times tomorrow. We'll be like 11 days tomorrow. I feel like it may be too wet. If you feel like it's too wet, Casey, it probably is, buddy. And I mean that. If it feels like it, it probably is. When the calendar need to be tailored to your lawn, that's right. It would be AAA Huskers. That is right. I can see in the back of my mind still that Paul is still changing his shirts with last shows. Oh, yes. Will my goose die in Houston winter, or does it thrive in winter? I've resorted to Roundup to kill it, so fentanyl isn't helping much. Any applicators here in Houston that has revolved. Bird dog, the winter will kill it. All you need is just one frost, and it'll get you. Yeah, there's Ray there talking about it. Pylex. Pylex does amazing on it. It really does, and we're talking rates like 1/4 ounce to 1/2 ounce, something like that, and we'll smoke it. But yes, Brad, to give a mug just like he gave John. Give me him. Remember to hit the thumbs up button. That's right. That's right. St. Augustine. Yeah. Yeah. Atrazine. There you go. There's Ray. Is CarbonX going to be something you recommend for the winter? Casey, probably not. You can. I mean, because CarbonX has a lot of stabilized ammonium sulfate in it, so you can apply it in the winter. No big deal there. But usually, go cheap, man. It's wintertime. Throw down 2100 ammonium sulfate. That's where I like to see. Are you still making me a top dressing product? Yes, Jim. There will be a top dressing like product. So what we're going to be doing is a super high biochar with organic binders. A little bit of NPK is going to be like a 2-1-1, something like that. I'm battling it. My goodness, man. Let's see here. Anything to do once the first frost hits? It's still supposed to be 60 through 40 degrees for the rest of October. No, sir. Hey, let it come, let it go. Just do the thing. What is the rate for CarbonX? I don't know how much to order. What's the shelf life? Shelf life should be definitely a year or longer. Rate is going to be variant. If you've already got a decent stand and you're looking for maintenance wise, you may be applying at like 100 pounds to the acre. If you're going for anything that's corrective and you're trying to, it's brand new construction, everything's ripped off the soil and you can't get it to turn green, it'd probably go higher. You may want to go like 200 pounds to the acre. So There's going to be a pretty variance there, and you're going to have to play with it a little bit, or at least give me some more information to work on, and I can tell you where to start with your rates. Why something is done is more important than when. That's right. Calendars are minimally valuable to turf. Man, Ray dropping some brain knowledge on you right there. What's up, Skipper? My man, Russell Skipper down in the ATL. Josh Carlson put down too much milo in 2017-18 and have overload of pus. Now I have chlorosis. That's some green effect. Cool temps in Minnesota projecting 45 to 55 next 2 weeks. Put down some green effect now or wait till next year. Get it down, buddy. You ain't gonna hurt nothing. Is that the 1801, the green effect? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think a green effect is let me look here. I think the green effect is the iron product, isn't it? That's the 700. Yeah, I probably wouldn't throw it down now. I'd probably wait till next year if you're already getting that cool, man. But I'd probably go ahead and chunk you down some ammonium sulfate. You ain't gonna hurt nothing doing that. That'll help it juice a little bit of it out and get you some color back. Well, if you're chlorotic, yeah, man, you can go ahead and get it down. Get it down, Josh Carlson. You'll be all right, big guy. Pound 22,000, 90 to 200 pounds per acre. There you go. Do you think Kavanaugh will be good for the lawn care industry? I don't know, AV guy. I'm not going to give any political opinions on YouTube. It's just it's not necessary. But one thing I will say, and that this is what looking at commodities right now, the lawn care industry as a whole is in a little bit of a tough spot because as tariffs and stuff are being placed on us, and we're placing them on other countries too. It's causing for instance, the cost of growing soybean, right? So farmers are being subsidized because of the tariffs, because costs are just so wildly fluctuating. Well, unfortunately, lawn care really is like a small hidden little thing, little subsection of agriculture. So, we're still buying a lot of the fertilizer and stuff. That's a little bit of the overflow from agriculture. The problem is that agriculture is being subsidized to be able to afford those price changes. Lawn care market is not being subsidized. So, unfortunately, the lawn care industry gets hit a little bit hard, especially since 90% of our AIs actually come from China. So we're kind of in a tough spot right now. I have a feeling it'll all kind of even out in the wash, though. So I'm not super concerned about it, but definitely prices are going to be on the way up and up, at least in the short term. I want the soil stimulation and not necessarily that other liquid stuff. There you go. There you go. Here we go. When no one's looking at bleaches but grows back in 21 days. That's right. Pylex isn't for use in St. Augustine, if I'm not mistaken. Only cool season grasses and centipede grass. Pylex can be used in Bermuda grass too. I would keep it off zoysia grass, but you can put it in Bermuda grass for control of goose grass. Is carbon earth fertilizer good for sandy soil? Yes, Tim Jim. There are lots of studies about biochar's effect on sandy soils and having the ability to retain water. That is one of the unique characteristics of something that is highly porous with a lot of surface area, is that it actually impedes the flow of water through sand. But interestingly, it has the opposite effect in clay soils. It actually stimulates the movement, the percolation rate of water into clay soils. So kind of an interesting thing there. But there are lots of studies on it. You can Google, biochar, sandy soil, and read the different research there, Tim Jim. It's great for it. Let's see. Do you recommend a potassium app in the fall? Any product suggestions? Thanks, Matt. Lambert, what kind of turf grass are you talking about? Cannot recall which one you have. Any reason why Magnum cost as much as a 1983 Toyota hatchback? It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but I would say it has to do with the fact that, you know, a 1983 Toyota hatchback is probably only going to be worth, you know, $2,000-3,000, and a Permagreen Magnum is probably only going to be worth $2,000-3,000. And you'll probably make tons more money with a Permagreen Magnum than you will with a 1983 Toyota hatchback. Just saying. Is CarbonX organic based? Yes, it is. It is organic based. Now it is enhanced with non-organic components. So ammonium sulfate, sulfate of potash in some instances is considered organic, but it also has micronutrients in it that are not organically sourced. Also, CarbonX is CarbonX is not OMRI certified, but one of our subproducts will be OMRI certified, not that one particularly. Sorry, the lawn stripes, that was funny, man. Since Dimension 2 EW herbicide is very costly, can I use 2,4-D amine ester as an economical replacement? No, Mudra, that is two totally different things you're dealing with there. Dimension 2 EW is a pre-emergent, meaning it prevents weeds pre-emerge before they emerge. It stops the weed from establishing before it has a chance to establish. 2,4-D is a post-emergent, meaning it is going to control it after the fact. So the difference therein lies is on the list of weeds controlled by a product like Dimension versus a product like a 2,4-D amine ester. 2,4-D is only going to control broadleaves. Dimension is going to control both a variety of broadleaves and grassy weeds. Now, if you really want to maximize the effect of Dimension, it would be to apply it in conjunction with 2,4-D. There, you kind of get your bang for your buck, because anything that has emerged, you can eliminate with your 2,4-D, and if it hasn't emerged, you can stop it before it starts with your Dimension. What's your favorite type of apple? I don't know. Them apples, that's right. What can I do about POA in Kentucky bluegrass? If you're dealing with POA trivialis, nothing. If you are dealing with POA annua, you can use something like ethofumicate. Ethofumicate will probably be hard on your Kentucky bluegrass, though, so be careful. Zoysia grass, a potassium in the fall, is not going to hurt. So typically why you would do that in the fall, Lambert, is for disease. You want to harden that plant in preparation for disease. So zoysia is susceptible to things like rhizoctonia and rust in the fall. So you put down your potassium to strengthen that plant, better manage the nutrient flow throughout the plant because it's slowing down, right? It's slowing down because of the lack of sunlight. So it helps still move things through that. Look at that. Ray said, stop all fertilizers, start large patch treatment. What can I do to get rid of Johnson grass in a turf-type tall fescue lawn? You're probably going to have to use fluazepop to get rid of your Johnson grass. Already got an app down at PPZ in Daconil. Hey, good work, sir. I believe Tenacity will take it out of Kentucky bluegrass. Tenacity will put a little bit of a hurt on your POA, but don't think it's going to eliminate it. I have yet to do that yet. Fall preem for POA annua, prodiamine, spectacle, pendimethalin, dimension. Those are about your sources there. Does using a striper kit on the lawn hurt it from making it lay down all the time as opposed to standing tall? It depends on your turf type. If you have a turf type that is does well being tall and leggy, then no, you're not going to hurt anything. If you have a turf type that wants to be maintained at you know, a ½ inch, then letting it grow tall and then laying it over isn't going to do it any justice. But for the most part, is the striper kit going to hurt your lawn? No, it's not. So you were saying organic sources of FERT, biosolids, chicken litter can create more instances of fungal disease. Can you elaborate? I don't know for sure, Andy. I'm kind of throwing this. I don't know. I have not formulated exactly what is going on. And one thing I haven't figured out is it seems to be in instances where the rate is of overall product is going down between 10 and 20 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So that's a lot of organic material at one time. And Andy, you send me an email and I will share some pictures with you. I don't know exactly what is going on. Right now, it's totally just a random thing. And it's not just an organic source is coming from manure. I'm also seeing it in plant-based products too. I was talking to someone who just recently used a plant-based organic fertilizer, and they were going through the exact same thing. So I don't know. I don't know what this is, Andy. I'm kind of shooting in the dark right now with it, but I'd love to get your eyes on it and get your opinion on it. Can you explain the difference in types of 2,4-D on the market when one is better than the other for a particular application? Okay, the different types of 2,4-D, typically you see it in an amine formulation or you see it in an ester formulation. The reason being is that an amine you can apply without the risk of drift. It's a water-based product, and is less risk of drift. So in periods of high temperature, you don't have to worry about volatilization taking place. And as it volatilizes, it starts to knock out things like trees and tree leaves. And then there's going to be like 2,4-D choline, which is of the newer formulation. 2,4-D choline is supposed to be even less drifty, so to speak. And something like a 2,4-D ester is going to work better in the cold. It's ester, so think petroleum distillate. It's going to have very high penetrating power. So when you don't have a lot of growth taking place in the plant to be able to uptake this material, you use a 2,4-D ester to be able to penetrate that leaf tissue, and that's how you actually get the herbicide into the plant. That is right. Everybody pay attention to what the Lawn Guardian says right now. If you haven't, check out the Lawn Guardian on YouTube. It's attacking me. Check out the Lawn Guardian on YouTube. There was a great video that was put together by a lot of the lawn care guys of the community. Ryan Knorr just did a tremendous job, and it's to show support for Rodney Smith. I'm wearing the shirt now. Get a shirt, and if you can, make a donation, because what Rodney is doing for the industry is great. That's exactly what we need more of in this industry. So show some love, donate if you can. If you have the means, spread it, because our industry and our community is really doing positive things. Let's spread that and share it. Thank you, the Lawn Guardian. That's right. You can either donate or you can buy a shirt. It all goes to the same place. All benefits. Hey, we're gonna move on here. Let's see. What's going on? Matt Powell, official. That's right. Is it just crabgrass that dies in the winter, or do other weeds die as well? If it is a warm season weed, it will die in the winter as long as it dips below freezing. With temps in the mid-60s by the end of the week, is it too late to oversee turf-type tall fescue? Probably not, Eli. What I would do is I would check your soil temperature and get like a 5-day history, and you should be good to go. If you're sub 55, you're probably too late. If you're above 55, you're probably good to go. And even when it is below 55, I've still had fescue do plenty good at temperatures below 55, so I wouldn't get too excited about it. What do you think of the Soil Cube compost at Superside? I love it. Also, what do you think of the NPK products? My phosphorus is only a 2 with optimum range being between 50 and 70. Sound impossible, right? No, it doesn't sound impossible, Manicone. It happens, man. It happens. I've never used the compost at Superside or the Cube compost. I've never even looked at the analysis of it, so I don't have an opinion on it. What do you think of the NPK products? I'm not sure which NPK products you're talking about, but if your phosphorus is only a 2, you may want to throw a little bit of phosphorus down. You can use something like a 18-24-12. It's kind of the old standard. You wouldn't have to apply just a whole lot. You could probably get down with a pound. I would like to see that probably closer to a 20. As long as you're in a 20, you should be good to go. How far around trees should we be with something like that? With trees, I mean, you got to be careful. You got a bunch of surface roots and stuff. You don't want to be applying it. If you're using a 2,4-D amine, you can spray within the drip line of the tree, and typically you'll be okay. If you're using an ester, pay attention and make sure you're not setting yourself up for temperature inversion, because temperature inversion can seriously do a lot of damage. So if it looks like you're at a risk of temperature inversion, you don't need to be using an ester-based product. But as long as you're not at a risk for it, you're okay to use it. So typically, it's kind of a general rule of thumb. I like ester-based products up to 60 degrees. Over 60 degrees, you move to an amine. Now, that's just how I operate. That's not how it says on the label. The label has a little bit more leeway on that, but I've damaged things from temperature inversion, so I play it a little safe. Tons of white, light brown moss in the Bermuda. Thinking armyworm. Spray tall starve down twice, about 10 days apart. They're still there, and the lawn looks weak and thin. Brunite. It may not be armyworms. Could be cutworms. Could be webworms. You never know. But Ray suggested dialox. There you go. Thanks, Ray. Think about his oxygen clearance for the net. Have both on hand. That would be a good application there, Lambert. Cane corsos, Brunite. I forgot about that. You got cane corsos down there stomping your Bermuda Brunite. I tell you what. Hey, man, wild onions are popping up in my renovated lawn. Anything I can put down to get rid of it? Yep. 2,4-D ester would be great for it. There you go. New renovation. You're dealing with probably a cool season grass species. You will be good to go using something like a 2,4-D ester. That will work great for you there, Greg. Bananas with tree injections, can you use as a curative? If so, how long to take effect? Can you get same results as foliar wrap on trees versus injecting? Yes, Papa. So you can use something like dinotefuran, also known as, I believe that's also known as Safari. Dinotefuran. It can be injected, but it can also be sprayed on the trunk with the same effect. Dinotefuran is very mobile in trees, happens really fast as a curative, not a long in terms of effect. It may only kill for 2 weeks to a month, but it can kill really, really, really quickly within days. So yes, tree injections can be used as a curative. I'm getting garlic, not onion, in Middle Tennessee. The blade is hollow, it's garlic. It's solid, it's onion. I think it's something like that too, Telly. I can't remember off the top of my head. What is the link to the Discord chat? Would like to sign up for that as well. That's a good question. Someone in the Discord post a link to the Discord, so that way I can post that into the chat. Actually, I think I've got it over at thelawnforum.com, because if you don't hang out at thelawnforum.com, I don't know what is going on with you, because there's great stuff going on over there. I'm telling you right now. Let's see here. Where were we? Bear with me. You're welcome, Redbird. You are very welcome. What's a green and white poster on your wall say? That is actually, what does that say? I have no idea. I do know my wife did that in calligraphy class as a young girl, and it's very pretty, and so we put it right there. My wife is very advanced in Japanese calligraphy, and that's her thing. That's her thing. She's great at it. Oh, here we go. We got the link to the Discord chat. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I'm gonna throw the Discord right here in the chat right now. Let's see. Where are we? All videos for the fundraiser can be found in the United We Mow Lawn Care Community Fundraiser playlist on my channel. I got to interview Rodney Mullet. He's a great guy. Look at that. Lawn Guardian checking out Rodney Smith. I'm talking about. I got to watch that video. He seems genuinely happy about everything that's going on too, and that's excited to see. Any news on CarbonX? When we'll be ready for the DIY guys to buy? Ken, I can't. I will tell you after the GIE. How about that? But I will say this, it will be sooner than you think. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Does CarbonX contain amino acids? Yes, Evie, it contains lots and lots of amino acids. Just to kind of clear that up, amino acids basically function like an organic fertilizer would. So if you take something that is, all right, so you take something like Milorganite. Milorganite is digested by microbes. They consume the carbon component of the organic material, and then when they consume that, they deposit a mineralized nitrogen form. And it's this symbiotic relationship between the microbes, the soil, and the organic fertilizer to quote unquote indirectly feed the plant. Amino acids do the same thing. So what happens is as the plant begins to form, the root system is actually going to exude amino acids. The amino acids are constructed of C, H, and O, right? So it will deposit C, carbon, to the microbes, nematodes. They will consume that, then will drop mineralized in. Well, plants also can uptake those amino acids. When they do, and they do uptake them, what happens when it enters the plant is that you actually get the formation of carbon and nitrogen isotopes. It actually leads to the formation of C13 and then N15, which functions in the plant very similarly, right? So nitrogen functions like nitrogen in the plant, carbon functions like carbon in the plant. It's probably going to go towards the production and or storage of carbohydrates. So it's not that amino acids do anything different in the plant. They just do the same thing as an organic fertilizer would, or as any sort of indirect feeding fertilizer would. And when I say organic fertilizer, I'm talking about Milorganite or chicken manure, horse manure, or whatever. It all functions the same way. Compost, it all does the same thing. Can't link in chat, Matt. I can, Colonel. I can. So there you go. Let's see here. So if I understand you right on 2,4-D, my Q4 is good for warmer weather, and my speed zone or T zone is good for cool weather. Is that right? Yep, that would be a very simplified way to put that. Yes. Can you comment on allegations that CarbonX tastes better with sriracha? Hashtag lawn forum, hashtag soil fertility thread. I love how you stared at that poster like it was going to tell you what it said. The city, actually, I was looking on it. So my wife has her name written on the side. And at first I was thinking, I was like, does that say Asami Honda? But then I saw her name written on the side and I was like, nah, that's not what it says. So anyway, that was, I did stare at it like it was going to tell me what it was going to say. I want to lower the mowing height on my centipede. How long should I wait between mows so I don't stress it? Terry Finch, just each one, drop it a little bit, drop it gradually. Oh, look at this. Ray said, screw it, cut it all down and get it over with. Never mind. There you go. Typically, Terry, I maintain my centipede between like an inch and a half, something like that. And centipede, I mean, you could just hammer it and it wouldn't hurt nothing. Can too much synthetic N kill earthworms? No, absolutely not. Oh, Ray got him again. More nonsense. That's right. Colonel Corn thought it tasted better with LaCroix. Hey, Soy Archives, how are you? What are your thoughts on coffee grounds as a top dress or added into lawn compost? Coffee grounds are coffee grounds. They're going to work like any other compost would. It's an indirect source. Coffee grounds are typically going to be a little acidifying. So if you're dealing with a high pH issue, coffee grinds may be something that you can put in to help reduce that soil pH. So it's another thing. Anything, whether you're using banana peels or soybean waste or cow manure, it's all really going to function the same thing. You're going to have such slight variations in nitrogen content and micronutrient content that you're not going to see really just a tremendous difference. Now, the caveat to that would be for something like coffee grounds, if you have high pH soil and you're trying to drop it. All right, everyone, this is where I'm going to call it right now. Well, one more. First time you're trying to push out a little bit of rust, also apply foliage. Say, how long do I see results? Put down a heavy pound to bin. Should take more than a week or so, Captain Hiltz. Okay, y'all, so we're going to call it. It's 10 o'clock. Everybody have a great night. I got to flip on over to the SpaceX and check out what's going on. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you haven't, check us out, carbonearth.co. We got Permagreen information coming out later this week. We got more GIE information coming out later this week. Check out the Carbon Earth YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Click a thumbs up. Who knows? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I sure do appreciate it. Big thanks to Ray over here in the chat, checking it out, holding it down. Everyone, enjoy yourself. Have a good evening. Thank you.